yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience for your love with a cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration, feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Take 'cause they ain't to see. Just like the wind.
It's not Saturday, but that still does not change the fact that we're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you to the greatest fucking show on earth on a very special Thursday. That is right, it's a rarity, but we are kicking it live here, turning up on a Thursday. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, shit. Do you smell that? Do you know what that is? I'll tell you what it is. That right there is the smell of pure fucking excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. And this is the official lightning flash update for Thursday, February 9th, 2023. And baby, we are kicking it DJ Storm style like only we can. Hope you guys have had a very nice, very productive week. I see we got Lady Kenzie, we got Dylan and Peanuts in the chat right now. Thank you all for tuning in. We got Dee also in the chat. Appreciate Dee. Dee is awesome, as per usual. My #1 mod for a reason. But thank you all for stopping by here on the channel. I know it's very odd, but I got shit going down on Saturday. I have other inquiries. I have more important material going down on Saturday, and I needed to prioritize. So you know what? I wanted to do the Lightning Flash update on a Thursday just to get some content out for the week, because the DJ Storms brand has been booming. The DJ Storms brand has been booming. It has been up, only up. We rising up. We will not be denied, because all I got left is my pride, and I will rise up. Little SmackDown theme song from 2006, 2007, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Only the real ones know what I'm talking about. But anyway, thank you all for coming by. Thank you all for spending your Thursday evenings with me. little bit of a quick LFU. It probably won't go 2.5 hours. Probably just going to keep it to an hour and 20, maybe an hour and 30 if we tend to go a little bit longer. But we're still going to have a good time. We have a lot of news to dissect, a lot of news to talk about, and I hope you guys are ready. So strap in. But before we get shit started, first things first, I would like to thank each and every single one of you for tuning into the rewind for NXT Vengeance Day 2023. A solid show, very good in-ring action. Can NXT follow up on it? I don't know, because this past Tuesday, I almost said Wednesday. This past Tuesday, same shit, different week. So at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit for NXT. The only thing that's actually intriguing for NXT is Carmelo Hayes and Bron Breakker, which honestly feels like the first real big, genuine matchup that NXT has had probably since the days of Black and Gold. I have not felt this way about a world title match for NXT probably since we had Ciampa and Adam Cole main event NXT TakeOver Portland. So at the end of the day, I don't give a shit about anything on NXT but Carmelo Hayes and Bron Breakker. They're the two best recruits of the new era. And that match should be a fantastic match for WrestleMania weekend at Stand and Deliver. But hope you guys are ready for some good times. If you missed the rewind for NXT Vengeance Day, please go check that out. The link is in the description. Also, let's take some time to promote one of our newest sponsors here. We got ourselves a new sponsor of the channel. Her name is Brittany K. And she has fantastic designs. She draws them from scratch on her iPad. Before, you just saw the Wyatt family with Strowman, Harper, Rowan, and Wyatt. Stone Cold Steve Austin, as you can see right here. Beautiful Picasso background. We have Elias as well. Excellent detail. She is fantastic at what she does. I do not have enough praise for her. She's also a wonderful human being, so shout out to her. And then finally, we got the classic Braun Strowman, the Braun Strowman that we had before. He was inevitably fired by WWE, and then he was brought back towards the end of 2022. If you guys want excellent superstar drawings from scratch, might I add, superstar wrestling drawings from scratch on an iPad, go and check out Brittany K. You can follow her on Twitter at Brittany, that is BRITTANYKKAY 5150 on Twitter, and you can follow her on Instagram at Brittany K Designs. And going forward, I will be putting her links in the description. Please go and check her out. She is fantastic. She is super talented. And if you want some classic Twitter banners as well, wrestling Twitter banners and Twitter avies and all sorts of designs, backgrounds as well, she has got you covered. She's also doing some new drawings. She's got Jay Briscoe in there. She's got Malachi Black. She does Alexa Bliss as well. Plenty of other wrestlers, all across all different companies. So please go and check out Brittany K. if you want some classic, really grade A, top of the line, and I mean top of the fucking line, wrestler drawings on an iPad from scratch. Please go check her out. Please make sure that you go and you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. That is at HistoryMakerDJS. Both of those links are in the description. You can add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page. I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, hit the like button, whether you're watching on Twitter or Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. And share the stream out on all platforms, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you may be using, because at the end of the day, we want to get as many people in here as possible. It's the greatest fucking show on earth, like I always say. It's the LFU. Please make sure, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to the Hardcore Sports channel as well. And hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube. And do you know why? Because it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Earl Cole is not in the chat. I think he's doing some shit with the wrestling experience, so shout out to Earl Cole. But we're still going to light it up here on the LFU with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like chicken marsala at a fancy Italiano restaurante, I'm just so good because I'm the tastiest snack in the IWC. Everybody wants a piece of the Storm's Meister. I am that guy. Anyway, we are not going to waste any more time. When we get straight into the festivities here, we got a lot of news to talk about. But first things first, before we get started with the news, I do want to send some thoughts and prayers out to Top Rope Squishy. She is not doing her normal Dynamite review tonight. She was actually in the ER. I don't know how long she's been in the ER. I'm not sure if she's still in the ER, but she was in the ER this week, and I want to send some thoughts and prayers out to her. I hope that she makes a speedy recovery. I actually had no idea until my friend Jess from Colorado, shout out to her, until she actually tweeted about it, and I was legitimately taken aback. I've just been so bombarded with all the shit that I'm doing at work and trying to upload shorts and get all my notes together for my show that I didn't even realize. I didn't even see her tweet about it. So when I saw it, it really caught me by surprise. But my thoughts and prayers go out to Top Rope Squishy. I hope that she makes a full recovery, and I hope that it's nothing too serious. Now, let's get started with the news, rumors, and reports. Brian Alvarez, he reported that certain NXT stars have been granted a special privilege going forward. He tweeted out last Saturday before NXT Vengeance Day, and I quote, NXT is going to allow talent to work select indie shows going forward, which is a pretty big deal, end quote. I like that. I like that. Even if it's just select indie shows, that is a great thing because now it's really showing the leniency of Triple H. Plus, you can imagine that with Triple H allowing these NXT wrestlers to work independent shows, you can imagine that Triple H is probably telling them, you know, I'm going to need you to help me scout a couple of talent at these independent shows. Those talent could end up working as unofficial staff scouting talent at these indie shows, similar to what William Regal was doing at the independent shows like Evolve. William Regal right now is in a higher position of power, and William Regal is doing some real big-time boss shit up with Triple H. He's literally working side by side with Triple H. So at the end of the day, William Regal may not have the time to go out to these independent shows and scout talent. But if these NXT superstars and wrestlers are getting sent out to these shows to work the shows, you could imagine that they're reporting back to Triple H, especially if Triple H is close with them or Shawn Michaels is close with them. You can imagine that they're reporting back to them, hey, you got to check out this guy, or hey, you got to check out this girl. Maybe we could be looking at a new form of talent recruiting for NXT. So I like that. I like that NXT is allowing their talent to work select indie shows. Keep that going forward. Dragon Lee. I know some people have been wondering, where's Dragon Lee? Dragon Lee announced that he has signed with WWE. He announced it after him and Dralistico, they defeated FTR back at a AAA show at the end of 2022 to win the AAA World Tag Team titles, only to vacate them right after because Dragon Lee has signed with NXT. According to Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer hinted that Dragon Lee was actually supposed to be sitting at ringside like the new signees usually do at these NXT Premium Live events. However, he was not able to because there were issues and complications with his visa. Apparently, there's been a lot of complications with a lot of visas. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not sure what's going on, but WWE has had a lot of fucking issues with a lot of visas as of lately. Ilya Dragunov and Tyler Bate and Gallus and Piper Niven. Now Dragon Lee. I don't know what's going on, but they really got to get that shit worked out. I'm not sure if it's because of them. I'm not sure if it's because of new rules with the United States or what the fuck is going on, but I would have actually popped if I saw Dragon Lee sitting in the crowd, because Dragon Lee is a fucking stud. The first time I saw Dragon Lee wrestle was back at Death Before Dishonor back in July of 2022, literally the day after Vince McMahon retired, and him and his brother Roosh literally put on the second best match of the night, one of the best matches that I've seen personally in 2022, and from that point on, I was fucking hooked. I was a Dragon Lee fan. We'll see what happens with Dragon Lee, but you know, if Dragon Lee is on NXT TV and they push him as the top star that he is, I can absolutely see Dragon Lee winning the NXT Championship at some point this year. Realistically, Dragon Lee is ready for the main roster. Dragon Lee's been ready for the main roster, but you know what? I am not going to complain if they put Dragon Lee in NXT. You put him against anyone in NXT, and it's a certified banger. Wes Lee, Dijak, Tony D'Angelo, Grayson Waller, Tyler Bate, Axiom, Carmelo Hayes. Instant fucking banger. So you know what? There's a lot of great talent in NXT that I'm actually going to be very excited to see Dragon Lee wrestle. And on top of that, I don't mind Dragon Lee being on NXT, because at the end of the fucking day, that show needs something. That show fucking needs something. And if Dragon Lee is going to be that something that makes Tuesday nights just a little bit better and not sleep-inducing, then I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain at all. We'll see what happens, but I hope that they get that visa issue worked out sooner rather than later. Brock Lesnar. I guess the cat is out of the bag based on what happened this past Monday on Raw, which we will talk about. But Brock Lesnar has been confirmed to be working both the Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And it was confirmed this past Monday. Brock Lesnar working both of these events is a great thing. First of all, I don't know why they feuded him back with Bobby Lashley. The match at Crown Jewel was decent, but at the end of the day, that shitty finish just left a very bad taste in everyone's mouth. I was done with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley after the first match. So I don't know why they're continuing to feud at the end of the day, but I'm glad that it's taking place at Elimination Chamber. And you know why? It's because this frees up Brock Lesnar for a new opponent at WrestleMania, which I hope to be Karrion Kross. They might be leaning more towards Gunther, but I would save that match for SummerSlam. Kross is the best opponent for Lesnar at WrestleMania, because Kross, he needs a big-time feud and a big-time match to really get him back on track. After what happened last month with the Royal Rumble and Rey Mysterio, Kross needs to get back on track. And a feud with Lesnar would be probably the best thing for him. So I'm glad that Lesnar is getting rid of Lashley at the Chamber. We'll see what happens as far as that goes, but listen, I am very, very, very much intrigued in seeing Brock Lesnar face new talent. I've had enough of Bobby Lashley. I've had enough of Roman Reigns. I want to see new individuals. Now, Gunther seems like the best option, but Gunther, McIntyre, and Sheamus seems to be the ideal triple threat match for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. I would have a main event WrestleMania Night 1, but I know that's not going to happen because of Charlotte Flair. Fuck Charlotte Flair, by the way. Thankfully, we don't have to talk about Charlotte Flair on this show, so I just wanted to get my little fuck Charlotte Flair note out there. Here's the big piece of news, and I could not be happier about this piece of news. Fightful has reported that talent have been told that Ring of Honor will start their tapings for their weekly television show down in Orlando, Florida, during the last week of February. I could not be more happier about this. This is what I've been waiting for, and I will be buying Ring of Honor Honor Club on whatever streaming platform that they use. It's like their own version of the WWE Network. It's like the Ring of Honor Network. I will be buying it. And I have no problem paying $9.99 a month because this is going to be their version of NXT. I know Tony Khan won't say it, but Ring of Honor is absolutely going to be their version of NXT because you see a lot of young, hungry talent that we have not seen on AEW Dynamite, and they're getting those opportunities at Ring of Honor. Opportunities being given to someone like a Wheeler Yuta or a Daniel Garcia or a Roosh. People like that. People like a Jeff Cobb or people like a Mascara Dorada. And then with the tapings down in Orlando, you have X amount of weeks worth of tapings. Then you get the 4 to 5 events, the 4 to 5 pay-per-views, which kind of act as their own version of takeovers. It's going to give us serious NXT Black and Gold vibes, and it is going to get a lot of the young talent that we don't usually see on Dynamite. It's going to get them even more prepared for when their time comes on AEW Dynamite. And I cannot wait for these tapings to begin. It is going to be a great thing to see. So, from there, the one thing that we have to be asking is how long before it kind of gets a little stale? How long before it kind of gets a little stale recording down in freaking Universal Studios? Because I've seen a couple of AEW Dark tapings, and they're not very energetic. They're not very energetic at all. Matter of fact, I find the crowd quite boring. If you ask me, and especially with these new house shows that have been announced for AEW, the House Rules shows they're doing in March, these House Rules tours, if you're asking me, I would absolutely do some Ring of Honor recordings at these house shows. You could do the typical house shows and all that shit, but I would absolutely love if they take the Ring of Honor TV tapings on the road and they record some Ring of Honor material during these house shows. I think that would be great. That would be great. It would be a nice change of pace, and it would really put a staple on Ring of Honor as being up in par with what AEW is doing. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little bit of a tricky scenario considering what AEW is doing and the fact that they have live television is a different story. But there's no reason why Ring of Honor can't be on the same level as AEW in terms of storyline quality and match quality, especially the crowds. I mean, the crowds for Ring of Honor have been fantastic. If you ask me, the 3 Ring of Honor pay-per-views that we got in 2022, produced by Tony Khan, if you're asking me, I actually enjoyed those pay-per-views more so than I enjoyed Forbidden Door and Full Gear and Revolution. Not to say that those weren't the pay-per-view, those were not great pay-per-views. Those were all spectacular pay-per-views, but the crowd energy, the match placement, the pacing, the wrestling, I don't know. It's just Ring of Honor gives me serious NXT Black and Gold vibes. It really does. It honestly feels like these Ring of Honor shows are NXT takeovers. And that's exactly what we need for Ring of Honor. That's the one thing that is going to make Ring of Honor special. So I'm glad that these tapings are going to start because now we can actually get some storylines brewing and some actual intriguing angles for the Ring of Honor brand. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. I still am pitching the Jay Briscoe Tag Team Invitational to crown new tag team champions. That's just me. Dave Meltzer, he's reporting a very interesting plan in Jey Uso's absence. WWE is currently teaming up Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. This could be the case tomorrow in the title defense against Braun Strowman and Ricochet. And you know what? I have no issue with that because it is going to be even better if Jey Uso is off of TV. Jey Uso's off of TV. Jey Uso, no one sees or hears of Jey Uso. The correct way to go about it. No one sees or hears of Jey Uso until Elimination Chamber, where we all think he's coming out to fuck over Roman, but in reality, he's coming out to fuck over Sami Zayn. And all the heat that Roman and Sami had, that's going to be transferred back to Jey Uso because Jey Uso, like we all knew, he never liked Sami Zayn. all that heat's going to be transferred to Jey. And Jey is going to be the one that Sami Zayn wants to get revenge on. In is going to swoop Kevin Owens. And we get the tag team title match at WrestleMania. So I don't mind that Solo Sikoa is teaming with Jimmy Uso in Jey Uso's absence. Matter of fact, it's a great thing, not only from a storyline perspective, but it also gives Solo Sikoa some extra big match experience in a championship match against some big stars like Ricochet and Braun Strowman, and that is going to further prepare him from when he does venture out on his own and goes after a singles championship. It's great all around. It's great all around. Moving on here, my next report, according to Bleacher Report, it is being said that Rey versus Dominic Mysterio is indeed set for WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure that that is to the surprise of no one. We all kind of expected that was going to happen. The one thing that I'm wondering is what exactly is going to happen after the match. Is Dom going to break away from the Judgment Day? Is he going to go on his own? Is Rey Mysterio going to retire? Is Rey going to give up the mask? I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's what's going to be the interesting thing coming out of that match at WrestleMania. And it is definitely going to be a very, very, very intriguing scenario for both men. Where do they go? Are they going to team back together again? I don't know. And at the end of the day, it is very unpredictable. And you know what? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing because we don't really get a lot of unpredictable scenarios with WWE. And I mean a lot of unpredictable scenarios with WWE that are actually interesting. This is actually an interesting unpredictable. Normally with WWE, unpredictable usually means that something bad could happen. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Praise the Lord here because yet another firm has filed, or at least considered filing, a lawsuit against Vince McMahon. According to WrestlingNews.co, Pomerantz, very, very weird name, Pomerantz LLP announced this week that they are indeed considering bringing a class action lawsuit against WWE following the Vince McMahon scandal. If so, this would be the 5th lawsuit, at least the 5th publicly announced lawsuit that will be towards Vince and towards WWE. And look, this is a great thing to see. All these lawsuits just being thrown at WWE. It's a great thing to see, and more of these lawsuits are a great thing because it's going to corner Vince McMahon, but I don't know how much more it is going to take before WWE finally steps in. Is WWE actually going to step in, or are they just going to allow these lawsuits to happen and allow everything to be carried out with Vince McMahon in charge, and Vince is still going to initiate the sale of the company? I don't know. Is there a way that Vince could manipulate his way around these lawsuits in order to facilitate the sale of the company? I don't know. Because here's the thing. The one thing that's scaring me is the fact that he already manipulated his way back into the fucking company. He can do it again. He can do it and pretty much wipe the slate clean. He can wipe the slate clean, sweep all these allegations under the rug. Anything can happen with Vince McMahon. The only thing for sure with Vince McMahon is that nothing is for sure. Until that man is in a straitjacket, a prison cell, or a grave, I am not going to sit here and let my guard down. I am not going to sit here and breathe any sort of sigh of relief. Really, I'm not. It is a very, very scary scenario. Really. We will see what happens as far as this goes. I'd like to hope, I'd like to have hope that maybe we could potentially get more lawsuits being filed, and inevitably WWE will have to step in. We'll have to wait and see. More serious here, more serious news here. I would like to send out some thoughts and prayers to Jerry the King Lawler. For those of you that do not know, Jerry the King Lawler was found in the parking lot of his condo complex face down. The report indicates that it was a blood clot on the right side of his brain that caused the spill. His speech is limited, but it is expected that he will be making a full recovery. Right now, like I said, his speech is limited, but my thoughts and prayers go out to Jerry the King Lawler, and I hope that he makes a speedy recovery, because Jerry the King Lawler, legitimately, he looks like a nice guy. He acts like a nice guy. He's very entertaining, and I really do hope that in the end, Jerry the King Lawler really decides to take a step back from wrestling, because he's actually been wrestling on the independent circuit, which I really don't agree with. I mean, he can do what he wants. I mean, it's his life. Live it however he wants. But I really do hope that Jerry the King Lawler takes a step back, steps away a little bit, and kind of puts his health over his love and passion for getting back in the ring. Because at the end of the day, he can have that passion for pro wrestling. He can have that love, but his health is definitely more important. I'll tell you what's not important. I'll tell you who's not important. Alexa Bliss is not important, because she makes every single show that she is on that much worse. Alexa Bliss is a terrible professional wrestler. I cannot even express to you how much I hate Alexa Bliss. She is easily the second person that I hate the most, right behind good old fuck Charlotte Flair. We all know the deal there. I already ranted on that last week, so I really don't have to go into that. If you missed it, go check it out. But PW Insider, hallelujah, is reporting that Alexa Bliss is taking time away from WWE following the Royal Rumble. We can all rest easy tonight knowing that there is a God, and Alexa Bliss will not be on TV for a little bit. Good. Good. I actually hope that she steps away from pro wrestling altogether and she goes and does something else, because Alexa Bliss has not been any sort of valuable to the WWE product in God knows how many years. The last time she was valuable was when she was feuding with Becky Lynch over the SmackDown Women's Championship, back when SmackDown was the best thing in WWE, even better than NXT at the time. So if you're asking me, good. I am happy that Alexa Bliss is not on TV. Matter of fact, when Alexa Bliss is not on TV, I'm a happy DJ Storms. And happy DJ Storms is always much better than the angry one. Alexa Bliss is off on TV. You will not be missed. Lexi Kaufman, I hope that you retire from pro wrestling. Here's a big piece of news that actually just recently broke. This is actually quite interesting. CM Punk, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, he could be brought back to AEW within the next few months. Meltzer stated, and I quote, "They are lacking in that babyface position, someone fierce. They had a shot with MJF. They obviously they did the double cross on that. And MJF was great as a heel tonight, but they don't have the guy," talking about a top babyface to take on MJF. He continued saying, and I quote, "Punk's not going to be the guy either. I know some people might say, well, Punk's coming back. Punk may come back. He will be available to come back if they want to use him in a couple of months. It's not like it's so far in the future. And of course, if they were to bring Punk back, that opens up a lot of other issues that we can talk about another day." Now, I know there's going to be a lot of issues, but if you ask me, normally I would have said that CM Punk coming back to AEW after what happened is it's pretty much just a fantasy at this rate. I don't even understand how Punk comes back. He's certainly not going back to WWE. But if you ask me, I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Punk coming back and everyone inevitably working this shit out. Reason why I say that is because CM Punk is too big of an asset for AEW. Punk, at the end of the day, yes, he gets caught up. He gets caught up in his feelings. Yes, he's a fucking idiot. He's a liberal fucking douche. But at the end of the day, I don't think he wants his legacy to go down like this. I really don't. I don't think that this is going to be the lasting legacy of CM Punk. And on top of that, I don't think the Elite and everyone involved in this situation are that fucking stupid to put their fucking juvenile feelings in the way of what could be a great angle with Punk coming back. FTR then comes back. FTR could win the tag team titles. Punk could team with FTR. Maybe we get a trios match between the Elite, Punk, and FTR. Maybe we get a match for the trios championships. And I mean, come on. Who would turn down a fucking CM Punk versus Kenny Omega match as well? I do believe that shit will be worked out and Punk will indeed be back in AEW. The question here is, who else besides the Elite does CM Punk have a real, genuine issue with? I don't really know. And to be quite honest with you, we may never know. We may never know. Some of that shit may stay hidden. Some of that shit may stay hidden. You know what? Maybe CM Punk was also right, because there's a lot of children on that roster. There really is. But at the end of the fucking day, I don't really see how everyone could just be so caught up in their feelings as if they're a bunch of fucking high schoolers that they could turn down all the money that is being put on the table to do a storyline and an angle like this. And if you want to revisit the MJF CM Punk storyline, that never got a proper conclusion. That never got a proper conclusion. And if we get that proper conclusion with CM Punk inevitably putting over MJF after this is all said and done, and MJF being the top guy, if we get Punk and MJF in Chicago at All Out for the AEW World Championship, at the end of it all, I am telling you, when Punk puts over MJF in his hometown of Chicago, it is going to be an absolute beautiful, it will be beautiful. Everything will come full circle. It will be absolutely beautiful. And MJF will be made into an absolute fucking legend at what, 26, 27? He's already a legend in my eyes, but I mean, beating Punk in Chicago in that manner, that would catapult him all the way to fucking Jupiter. And we won't be able to fucking see him. He will be so far high up, we won't be able to see him. And my final report. WWE has announced that on August 5th, Saturday, Ford Field in Detroit will be hosting WWE SummerSlam. And I actually don't mind the fact that it's in the beginning of August. Matter of fact, I actually wish SummerSlam would continue operating in the late July, early August range. I never liked SummerSlam being at the end of August because it honestly feels like it's a very somber pay-per-view because to me, SummerSlam always signified to me the end of summer. And I'm not really too big of a fan of that. If anything, I do believe that SummerSlam should continue to take place in July and August, the beginning portions. And then I do believe that this will inevitably result in WWE continuing to make Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, Wales, a recurring thing, potentially on Labor Day weekend, potentially towards middle of September. I like that. I like that a lot. That is a brilliant, brilliant move. That is an excellent move, and it will ultimately make the August to September portion of WWE TV feel a little bit more important. Now, if only we can get the October, November, December portions of WWE to feel more important, because it always seems like they are down periods, and I fucking hate that. We really do need something with the October, November, and December periods in WWE to make that shit feel more important. Especially considering now that we got War Games, and War Games hasn't even boosted up the November, December period of WWE TV. It's always a lazy period, and I don't like that. We'll see what happens there, but that's what's going on in the world of wrestling. A lot of news, a lot of reports, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting even more as we head into the Elimination Chamber next week. I swear, February's going fucking quick. It's already February 10th tomorrow. Literally just 2.5 more weeks and February's over, and we're going to be entering into March. 2023, man, it's going so fucking quick. But those are the news, rumors, and reports, ladies and gents. I hope you guys are having a good time. We are going to get into the weekly show reviews, and then we are going to get on out of here. Just 2 weekly show reviews. Like I said, usually it's a longer stream, but it's just like a quick stream for now. Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. I've actually been very, very, very pleased with what Monday Night Raw is doing. Monday Night Raw was a very solid show this past Monday. Not better than last week, but certainly a very, very solid show. And it really makes me wonder why we weren't getting this material before the Royal Rumble. I'm not sure what specifically is going on, but I'm sensing this vibe. I'm not sure what it really is, but I'm sensing a little bit of a vibe that maybe with all these lawsuits coming about, maybe Vince is truly taking a step back. Maybe WWE is just trying to tell Vince, look, we know that you want to get back into creative. You're trying to get back in. He clearly had a hand in the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble was not Triple H produced solely. That had a lot of Vince McMahon flavor to it, which is why it sucked outside of the main event and the closing segment. But recently, coming out of the Royal Rumble, I haven't really felt any Vince McMahon material on Monday Night Raw. It's focused, it's determined. We've been getting storyline continuation, Elimination Chamber build, WrestleMania build. We've been getting great wrestling. So I can't really sit here and complain about Monday Night Raw. And I hope that they keep this up. Because ever since Raw 30, Monday Night Raw has been very, very good, very solid, very enjoyable. I hope that this continues going into WrestleMania, because this is probably the best WrestleMania season that we've had in a long, long time. WrestleMania season has usually been a very, very lazy period for WWE, specifically with Vince McMahon in charge. WWE has always coasted through WrestleMania season. They've always made it very, very lackluster. They always build it on the fact that, hey, we're WWE, or hey, it's WrestleMania season and they're going to watch anyway. But I'm glad to see that we're actually getting some solid material on Monday Night Raw. Shout out to Earl Cole, who's also in the chat. Earl Cole is fantastic. Glad that you decided to drop by, Mr. Cole. And I cannot wait to be back on the Wrestling Experience on February 23rd. So Monday Night Raw kicked off with Edge and Beth Phoenix. He talked about the Judgment Day and how Finn Balor is operating on a level I haven't seen him at. Priest is a workhorse. Ripley won the Rumble. Oh, yeah, and Dom is there too. He said, I knew Finn couldn't physically hurt me enough to make me say I quit, but I was helpless to stop Beth from being hit with a chair. So Judgment Day, here's your golf clap. So give him a golf clap. He said, you made a bad problem even worse. I am a cruel, sick bastard. Beth said, if you've got the stones, Ripley, and then all of a sudden, Balor and the Judgment Day came out after Beth said that they want to finish this. Judgment Day came out, and Balor said, you know, you keep on getting beaten down again. Maybe you should just say, I quit. Dom then said, I have served hard times. You better run along before I do something to you I learned on the inside. Crowd chanted, you suck. Priest said, next time, we'll make what happened at Extreme Rules look like child's play. Dom said, I wish Mommy was here. Because Mommy was, across the seas doing some promotions for the WWE in the Elimination Chamber. So Edge told Dom to shut up. Edge then said Priest is following Balor around like a gigantic labradoodle. Edge then said, all of you would drop each other. You guys are not one. Beth then said, I speared Ripley's soul out of her body, and I came here to beat Rhea Ripley's ass. Here's what I'm proposing. Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber. Balor then said, we accept, as long as you make it to Elimination Chamber. So the Judgment Day surrounded the ring. The Street Profits came out to help. Edge speared Balor. Ford then sent Dom into the ring. And Beth Phoenix gave Dom a glam slam. And this, I don't know why, but I found this a lot more hilarious than it really was. As Dom was up in the Glam Slam, he screamed out, "Mommy!" to Rhea Ripley. I don't know why, but I thought that was fucking hilarious. I thought that was fucking... I'm actually legitimately entertained by Dominic Mysterio. I think he's doing some great fucking work. So we got that match confirmed for the Elimination Chamber, and the Elimination Chamber, let me tell you, the Elimination Chamber has not really felt very important in quite some time. Really. The Chamber has not felt important in quite some fucking time. You take a look up and down this card. We got the U.S. title Elimination Chamber. We got the Women's Elimination Chamber. We got Roman and Sammy. We got Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor. You got Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley confirmed. And then potentially we got an Intercontinental title #1 contenders match as well going down tomorrow. If Cross wins that, then we're going to have Cross and Gunther, which I hope he does, because I think Cross and Gunther would be great. Cross and Gunther, I mean, holy shit. Holy shit. This may very well be. If they play their cards right, it could be the best Elimination Chamber that we've ever seen. Angelo Dawkins and Damian Priest, they had an Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and this was a very good match. Do not sleep on Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins is a very, very good professional wrestler, and this was a very good wrestling match. So Dawkins, he pounced Priest onto the announce table. Priest came back with a broken arrow. Dawkins, he kicked out of that. Dawkins came back with an enziguri. Priest came back with a nice lariat, suplex on the floor. Coming back from commercial, Dawkins mounted a comeback with a leaping back elbow, stinger splash, and an exploder suplex for a 2. Priest with a super kick and an elevated flatliner. Dawkins kicked out. Dawkins with the silencer. Priest kicked out. Dawkins with a very nice looking swanton bomb off the top. Priest kicked out again. Right hands were being traded. Damian Priest hit the South of Heaven choke slam, and Priest wins and advances to the Chamber in a very good match. And man, does the U.S. title Elimination Chamber look stacked, or does it look stacked? Theory, Rollins, Reed, Gargano, Priest. Holy shit. If they play their cards right, that could be one of the best chambers we've ever seen, just by the talent that's in there alone. And this was a very good match, and I'm very happy that they got the time. We got a replay of the great segment that ended Friday Night SmackDown with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, which could very well be the match of the year. Baron Corbin, he took on Dexter Lumis. This was quick. This was simple. Lumis wins with a Uranagi, a rock bottom, if you will, in about 3 minutes. And then afterwards, JBL, he dropped Baron Corbin. And he said to Baron Corbin, "You cannot polish a turd. I tried." Good. And you know what? This is a great thing because it really goes to show you that Triple H is listening to the fans. He has his hand on the pulse, and he knows that this Baron Corbin shit was not working. It was not working. And I'm very, very happy that they nixed the partnership. I'm glad that they're not doing the Roman Reigns route, where Roman Reigns was a fucking babyface for how long? 6 fucking years, and they were just shoving him down our throats. Thank God they're not doing that with Baron Corbin. You know what we need? We need the Lone Wolf back. We need Baron Corbin as the Lone Wolf, and we need Baron Corbin just beating the shit out of people, riding his motorcycle, dressing in all fucking black. That's what we need. We need Baron Corbin as the Lone Wolf. That's what I want to see. And that's what we should get at the end of the day. Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin, or bust. I've been saying this for years. Every single adaptation of Baron Corbin, ever since they got rid of the Lone Wolf, has been shit. They should have never gotten rid of the Lone Wolf. As soon as the Lone Wolf character died, so did Baron Corbin's career. Plain and simple. I'm glad that the partnership's over. Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came out to address the crowd. He was happy. He was high-fiving fans. He thanked the great crowd. He goes, "Good evening, Orlando." He talked about the Royal Rumble, and I said, He said, I thought it sucked. I mean, beep, 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 beep. No lies detected there, Mr. Brock Lesnar. No lies detected. It did suck. Royal Rumble sucked. It had Vince McMahon written all over it. So Brock Lesnar showing everyone that he's a very intelligent individual. He's not just an ass kicker. He's a very intelligent man. Royal Rumble sucked. It did. He said Brock Lesnar got his ass thrown over the top rope by Bobby who? Bobby Lashley. You finally struck a chord in Brock Lesnar. I couldn't get Bobby Lashley out of my head. I wanted to go hunting, but all I could think about is Bobby who? Bobby Lashley. I sit down for a nice steak dinner, and all I think about is Bobby who? Bobby Lashley. I get into bed with my wife. This was great. I get into bed with my wife, and then in about 4 and 5 hours later, all I can think about is Bobby Lashley. So Brock Lesnar fucks his wife for about 4 to 5 hours and then thinks about Bobby Lashley. Unintentionally funny is Brock Lesnar. He said, I came up with a very violent resolution. In this $5 denim jacket is a multi-million-dollar contract, and it states Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at Elimination Chamber. So if you got a set of balls, come out and sign it. Lashley then came out looking sharp as ever. Lashley said, well, nice of you to grace us with your presence. You and I had a match at the Rumble, and I pinned you. Match number 2, you won, but I laid you out. Lesnar then handed Lashley the contract. Lashley took it. And then he goes, things will be done on my terms. I will let my agents and my lawyer look at it, and I will get back to you. So Lesnar obviously was a little displeased. Lashley then goes, what's wrong, Brock? Are you surprised that Bobby who has got one up on you? And he pointed at his nose. He literally touched his nose. He booped him on the nose like fucking Chris Statlander. Lashley then turned away to leave. Lesnar picked him up and F5'd him. And the crowd chanted one more time. Brock obliged with one more F5. And I like that it's taking place at Elimination Chamber. Like we already said, I like that because it frees up Brock Lesnar for a new opponent at WrestleMania, which I hope to God is Karrion Kross. That is the best route to go. Lesnar and Kross. It's new. It is fresh. It gets Karrion Kross in a big-time matchup. And it's a great use of Brock Lesnar to help put someone over. Gunther and Lesnar can wait until SummerSlam. We don't need that match now. So I'm glad that it's taking place at the Chamber. And it makes the Chamber feel more important. Elimination Chamber, if you're asking me, Montreal's getting their own WrestleMania with the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber is legitimately WrestleMania Night 3. And I like it. Elimination Chamber looks stat. This is probably the best looking card that I've seen since Clash at the Castle. Clash at the Castle was a great fucking show. This probably could be the best pay-per-view under Triple H since Clash at the Castle. I like it. Piper Niven, Carmella, Mia Yim, and Candice LeRae. Elimination Chamber qualifying match. This was pretty decent for what it was. All 4 women did their part. LeRae and Yim had a little face-off. We had a Poison Rana on Mia Yim. Mella tried to take advantage. Niven with a triple crossbody on all 3 women. Niven was in control. Coming back from commercial, Carmella with a super kick on Niven. Double team move by Yim and LeRae on Niven. Mella and Yim got into it. Mella caught an eat defeat. Niven pulled Mella out of the ring, stopping the pinfall. LeRae came in with a missile dropkick on Niven and a beautiful lion salt before Mia Yim saved it. Piper Niven with a very nice looking Winds of Change. LeRae saved it. LeRae then with a senton on Piper. Mella came in. Bronco Buster on LeRae. Niven went for Mella, but she ended up hitting Candice LeRae with a cannonball. Niven caught a super kick, and Carmella pinned Candice LeRae to win. Now, I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm saying here. I really don't, but Carmella should not have won this match. I'm sorry. She shouldn't have. And I'm not trying to disrespect Carmella. I'm not. I'm really not. At the end of the day, Carmella has already had her opportunity. She is a former Money in the Bank winner, SmackDown Women's Champion. She had her WrestleMania moment by winning a Battle Royal. Why is Carmella getting this opportunity inside the chamber when you got Candice LeRae and Piper Niven? And yes, I'm well aware that in the end, it is an inevitable loss because no one should be walking out victorious outside of Asuka in that chamber. But what's the fucking difference if Candice LeRae, Piper Niven, or Carmella got into that match? Why did Carmella need to get into it when she's already had that big match experience? This should have been either Piper Niven or Candice LeRae because it would have given some new blood a showcase inside a big match like the chamber. And on top of that, no disrespect to Carmella because she's gotten a lot better, but Candice and Niven are superior wrestlers to her. I have no problem with Carmella, but it should not have been Carmella winning that chamber qualifying match. Now, in the end, we could still end up getting a very good chamber match. The field still looks good. But I mean, Natalya and Carmella as the final two participants, I'm sorry. I cannot get behind that. I'm sorry. I have no problem with either of them. More specifically, Carmella. Carmella's gotten better, and Natalya's not bad in the ring. It's just that Carmella's already had her opportunities, and Natalya's boring as shit. Decent match for the women. Have no problem with it. But in the end, why did Carmella win? Why did Carmella win? Should have been Candice or should have been Niven. Those two would have had a much better showcase inside the chamber, and they would have made the match better. I'm not saying the match is going to be bad with Carmella in it, but it would have been better with Mia Yim and or Candice LeRae. That's all I'm saying. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, they took on the Alpha Academy. This only went about 6 minutes, but they look good. This was very fun for 6 minutes. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but in this tag team match with the Alpha Academy, Cedric and Shelton looked fucking motivated. They had a little extra pep in their step. And you know what? It is a great thing to see because now I can confidently say that it looks like the Hurt Business is back together. All we need now is Bobby Lashley. Give me Bobby Lashley and give me the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline, Hurt Business versus Brawling Brutes, Hurt Business versus Imperium, Hurt Business versus the Judgment Day, Hurt Business versus the OC. That's what I want. I think that would be a great program. Hurt Business and the OC. Think about the matches that we could get out of those individuals. That would be great. But they had a little extra pep in their step. Looked a lot more motivated, and I'm very, very happy to see that. Cedric with a stiff basement dropkick on Gable. Very nice neuralizer, a couple of tope suicidas, but Gable caught him with an exploder on the floor. So it was intense. It was intense for only 6 minutes. Diving headbutt by Gable. Shelton saved it. We had a step-up knee by Shelton on Otis, and Shelton with a deadlift Samoan drop on Otis, which looked great. Benjamin had already taken out Otis. Cedric with the lumbar check, and Cedric wins it. And I'm very, very happy to see that the Hurt Business is turning it up, and they look to be back in shape. Good. Good. More of that shit, please. Chelsea Green, she came out for her match, and her opponent was Asuka. And let me tell you something. I have really hated Corey Graves on commentary. Corey Graves is really, really an annoying commentator. But I will say this. I was laughing at Corey Graves and his description of Asuka and Chelsea Green. He was like, you know Jurassic Park, you know, the first one where they lowered the goat into the raptor sanctuary? This is how I'm seeing it. I thought that was hilarious. So Asuka just absolutely destroyed Chelsea Green. And in the end, we had all the members of the Elimination Chamber for the women come out, and they watched as Asuka absolutely destroyed Chelsea Green. And in the end, the EST, Bianca Belair, came out, and she goes, I know what it takes to win. Good luck. But whoever wins it all you are going to have to get ready, and I will be ready to see you at WrestleMania. No one should be winning this match but Asuka. No one should be winning this match but Asuka. Liv Morgan and Asuka is not a WrestleMania match. Liv Morgan is going to have to get built up a little bit more in order to look credible against someone like Asuka. I don't even know if that's even possible to make Liv Morgan look credible against someone like Asuka, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And then you got Nikki Cross. She's very good, but she is not at the point where she should be challenging for a championship. Carmella and Natalya have already had their opportunities, and Raquel is not ready. The best option is Asuka. This Asuka versus Bianca Belair. Book it. Book it. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes came out to address the crowd. He talked about his WrestleMania aspirations. He goes, so what do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? So Cody, he talked about Roman Reigns, but then he talked about his possible opponent, Sami Zayn. I could be challenging against Sami Zayn. Paul Heyman then came out. He hyped up Roman Reigns. Heyman then talked about how life at the very top requires an understanding. He said he wanted to congratulate Cody Rhodes on winning the 2023 Royal Rumble match. Crowd chanted for Cody. He then talked to Heyman about how he has a deep amount of respect for Heyman. He told a story in 2000 when his family went broke and his dad was doing local car commercials simply to keep his own car, just so he could keep the car. And then there was a phone call, and Dusty Rhodes would be on ECW and he would be paid well. You kept your word. And he got his confidence back. And I was someone else causing trouble. I was somewhere else causing trouble. So from one disruptor to another, thank you. So Heyman, he got a little flustered. Heyman then said, this isn't about me. This isn't about your dad. This is about you. Just getting to Mania is a whole new road, and you could be walking into a nightmare just to come this close. Down the road is the PC, and he, Dusty, his father, Cody's father, trained and prepped the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, but he didn't train or prep you, and I'm guessing because he just wanted you to make it on your own, but I cannot convey in words how much I loved your father. And in my last conversation with your dad, he said to me that you were his favorite son, but Roman Reigns was the son he always wanted. Ooh. Struck a little bit of a nerve there, Mr. Heyman. So Cody then got in Paul's face and he grabbed his hand and he goes, I'm trying to win a championship, but you made it personal. So you can go tell your boy Roman Reigns that he's going to pay for it at WrestleMania when I take those titles personally. This was great. This was a great little trip throughout history. More of this, please. More of this, please. Matter of fact, this actually makes me more excited to see what we get for Roman Reigns and Cody when we get the back and forth between them. It is going to be very, very interesting. I would actually love to see Cody Rhodes in the crowd at the Elimination Chamber watching this match. I think that'd be great. Montez Ford versus Elias, Elimination Chamber qualifying match. This was not bad. Not bad, but at the end, it was a very, very bland, very, very blah match. So Montez Ford wins with the huge frog splash. Montez Ford stood out in this match, obviously, and Montez Ford ended up winning. Montez Ford will go to the chamber, and this is going to be a great showcase for Montez Ford. I can't wait to see what he does. Rollins then came out of nowhere. Austin Theory was on commentary, by the way, and Rollins just fucking stomped Theory's brains into the mat. So that was pretty much that. And the field for the U.S. title chamber is set, and it looks good. It looks damn good. Bayley versus Becky Lynch, steel cage match. This was fine for what it was, and it was great to see Lita back. I just have my own little gripe with the steel cage match, and that's not Bayley and Becky's fault. That's just with WWE's steel cage matches, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But let's go over what happened here. They fought on top of the top rope near the cage. Bayley came in with a diving elbow drop for a 2. Bayley locked in a heel hook. Becky tried to climb out. Bayley with a Bayley to belly off the top rope for a 2. Bayley climbed to the top. Lynch climbed with her. Lynch sent Bayley down before Io Sky came in, and Lynch was then sent into the ring. Lynch was down. Kai gave Bayley a crutch. Bayley, she used it. All of a sudden, Lita comes out of nowhere. Lita took down Io and used a crutch on Io. Twist of Fate connects. Lita then closed the door in Bayley's face. Becky with a manhandle slam, and Becky Lynch ends up winning the steel cage match, and that was it. We could very well be looking at a Lita, Trish Stratus, and Bayley, Lita, Trish Stratus, and Becky versus Damage Control, 6-woman tag at Elimination Chamber, which I would not mind. I think that would be fine. I think that would be absolutely fine. Listen, if we get a Bayley versus Lita match at WrestleMania, I think that would be great. I think that would be fantastic. But the thing that I have an issue with, it's not even so much the fact that Bayley lost. This just has to do with WWE steel cage matches. I don't know if you guys have been noticing this. WWE steel cage matches are way too tame. They are way too safe. Think about all the different steel cage matches that we've seen with WWE in the past year. The only one that stands out to me is Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross, because Kross stuck out and did different moves, and the crowd over there was great. It's a very, very typical steel cage match with WWE. No weapons, no high spots, no blood. At least with AEW, their steel cage matches are great. Every steel cage match sticks out from the last. You had the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks, which sticks out from Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, which sticks out from Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. But with WWE, their steel cage matches are all the same. One person gets tossed into the cage. Then they climb up to the top, and one of them don't fall. They just slide down the cage. WWE's steel cage matches are way too timid. I don't know what it is, but the WWE formula has ruined steel cage matches. Now, I'm not saying that it was a bad match. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I am not saying that it was a bad match whatsoever. It was a very good match. It just wasn't memorable. It just wasn't, oh my God, you got to go out of your way and watch this match with Becky Lynch and Bayley. It just was not, it wasn't all that. It was very good. It just wasn't all that. WWE steel cage matches, they really need to turn it up. A little bit of blood wouldn't hurt. Some more weapons wouldn't hurt, and some high spots wouldn't hurt. I would like to see a little bit more oomph with WWE steel cage matches, because every steel cage match, minus Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross, has felt the same. Regardless, still a very solid episode of Monday Night Raw, and we're going to get into AEW Dynamite, which was Championship Fight Night. And this was an excellent episode of AEW Dynamite, headlined by 3 top-tier matches with MJF and Konosuke Takeshita, the trios match with AR Fox, Top Flight and the Elite, and Rush and Bryan Danielson. Great in-ring action. Felt like a pay-per-view on free TV. MJF and Konosuke Takeshita, AEW World Title Eliminator match, kicked off the show, and this was excellent. MJF proving to everyone why he is one of the best wrestlers in the world, as is Konosuke Takeshita. So, Takeshita took over with a flying lariat. MJF came back with a hammerlock DDT. Takeshita caught MJF with a couple of knees and a brainbuster for a 2. Big frog splash. MJF kicked out. Takeshita with a cradle tombstone and a deadlift German suplex. MJF was sent into the post. Takeshita was then crotched on the top rope. MJF rolled out of a top rope lariat. Takeshita was on the top rope with MJF. How he does that big top rope lariat. MJF rolled through it and landed on his feet as if he was fucking Wesley or Ricochet. MJF then delivered a super kick. We had a forearm, elbow strike, and a lariat. Both men are down. MJF with salt to the earth. Takeshita got out. Tope con hiro. back in the ring. MJF rolled out again. MJF pulled the ref in front of him and then kicked the rope right into Takeshita's balls. Powerbomb on the knee by MJF. He sold the knee. Blue Thunder Bomb by Takeshita. MJF kicked out. Big knee strike, but MJF got his foot on the rope. Takeshita missed the springboard swanton. Soul to the earth locked in. It was in deep. Takeshita ended up tapping out. Absolutely no shame. Takeshita once again showing you why he will be a champion in AEW sooner rather than later. After the match, MJF then shoved the referee down and then hit Takeshita with the Dynamite Diamond Ring 3 times. He was left in a pool of his own blood, and Bryan Danielson ran out to make the save as Takeshita was bleeding profusely. MJF and Konosuke Takeshita, I cannot say enough good about these two individuals. An absolute banger of an open. And MJF in his world title reign, he is doing such a phenomenal fucking job. Really. I am fucking loving what MJF is doing. Excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent stuff. The Bunny, Jamie Hayter, AEW Women's World Title Eliminator match. This was very, very quick and rather uneventful, and that was because the Bunny legitimately got hurt. She looked like she landed on her face and may have broken her nose on an exploder suplex from Jamie Hayter, and this was really no one's fault. This was just a little miscommunication, and at the end of the day, it happens. At the end of the day, miscommunication happens. Sometimes you're going to get it. Sometimes you're on. Sometimes you're off. Sometimes you are going to fuck up. And that was the case here. Nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to berate anyone over. It was going fine before the fuck up. But at the end of the day, a fuck up was made. And they had to call an audible. And they ended it pretty quick. Hayter wins with the Haterade after the Bunny looked like she got fucked up on her face. Because she landed directly on her face off the exploder. Very, very quick. Jamie Hayter wins, as she should. And I can honestly see Ruby Soho as a challenger for Jamie Hayter. And I hope that that is the case because Ruby Soho is great. Saraya and Toni Storm, they attacked Leva Bates in the background. And they are continuing their hostile takeover as the ex-WWE women of AEW trying to take over the company and teach these AEW originals a lesson. MJF cut a promo in the back, and holy shit. I mean, I think that it's pretty much become a reoccurring thing here that MJF is a fucking god. He's a fucking god, and I think we should all acknowledge MJF as a fucking god that he is. So, he talked about how people treat him like a scumbag. A man doesn't really know who he is until he is met with adversity. I met this one girl. Let's for legal reasons, let's call her Liv. I met Liv, and I hooked up with her. She pretty much gave him a fucking blowjob. She gave him head in the car, hooked up. It was junior year of high school. He was a speed demon. He was getting speed ticket after speed ticket. He was one ticket away from getting his license revoked. After some extracurricular activities, he decided that it was time to put the pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal, and it was raining like cats and dogs, going 90 miles an hour. They hydroplaned. He accidentally hit the acceleration. Boom, crashed into a telephone pole. He was bleeding from his mouth, from his hands. He looked over at Liv. Thank God she was still breathing. He heard the sound of cop cars, and when the cops showed up, he switched seats with her so that he wasn't the one driving. You don't have the guts, Dragon. I am a scumbag, and I'm damn proud of it. My fucking God. My fucking God. MJF, you sadistic fucking bastard. I love it. MJF is unbelievable. The Garcia Guevara gauntlet match, and if Ricky Starks won, he would get to take on Chris Jericho. This was very, very quick. Really wasn't much to this. And Chris Jericho fucked over Ricky Starks in the end. Ricky Starks, he took on Angelo Parker first. Parker tried for the quick win, but Starks hit him with a spear, and Starks advanced pretty quickly. Daddy Magic tried for a cheap shot, but Starks rolled up Menard for a quick win. Out comes Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. They kind of teased who was going to be the guy to take on Ricky Starks. It ended up being Daniel Garcia. So I want to see more of Daniel Garcia and Ricky Starks. I think that they would be able to put on a great fucking match. We had Ricky Starks going for a spear, but Starks got a guillotine. Nice powerbomb by Starks. Up on top, superplex to Starks. Starks then with a Northern Lights bomb. Garcia kicked out. Both men were on the apron. Starks with a spear on the apron. And then all of a sudden, some fan hit what looked to be a Judas effect to Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks was out. Garcia rolled Starks back into the ring. And he pinned him 1, 2, 3. And the masked fan ended up being Chris Jericho. And like the scumbag Chris Jericho is, Chris Jericho fucked over Ricky Starks. All leading to their inevitable rematch at Revolution, which I do believe Ricky Starks will beat Jericho again and move on to bigger and better things. Roosh came out for his match. So did MJF. He said, Brian is set for a match, so you need to ring the bell and start the count. Brian was actually locked in the trainer's room with Takeshita by La Facción Ingobernales. So MJF trying to cheat his way out of a match with Brian. He told Aubrey to count faster. Aubrey, of course, counted slow because Aubrey's a legend. Brian made it to the ring, and we get Roosh and Bryan Danielson. And my God, this was fucking incredible. This was fucking spectacular. I never used that fucking word. This was spectacular. Absolutely spectacular here. Roosh and Brian, they went at it. Roosh caught Brian with a flying knee. Brian was sent into the barricade. He was busted open. Brian fought back with some chops. Belly to belly off the apron by Roosh. Brian went splat on the floor. Coming back from commercial, Brian with the yes kicks. Roosh and Brian with some stiff chops. Another drop kick. Big forearm by Roosh. Straight jacket pile driver. Brian kicked out. Busaiku knee connects, but Roosh kicked out. Back and forth strikes. Headbutts back and forth. The crowd was going nuts. Snap German. Brian rolled through. Busaiku knee again. And he wins it in what was a spectacular match. Easily a candidate for TV Match of the Year. And we are going to be getting Brian and MJF at Revolution in a 1-hour Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. And afterwards, MJF took out Brian, locked in the Salt of the Earth, and attacked the security guards too. This match is going to be great. This match is going to be great, and I cannot wait to see what these two men do. It is going to be a wonderful sight to behold in Fresno. AR Fox and Top Flight versus the Elite AEW World Trios Championships. This was my contender for Match of the Year. And holy shit, was this great. The Elite were in control. Omega came in with a chop on Darius Martin. Some nice backbreakers. Darius was isolated before Fox got the hot tag. 450 rolled through into a senton on Nick. Nice cutter on Omega. Cardiac arrest followed up by a rollback cutter on the Bucks. Big dive onto the Bucks. Big dive onto Omega. Swanton bomb. Omega kicked out. Slingshot Spanish fly by AR Fox. AR Fox is so fucking shit. Again, I don't want to make comparisons, but it's like we're getting more and more ricochets as time goes on. It's unbelievable. Tag to Dante. Dante with a slingshot Spanish fly. And Dante, he was in control. He worked over Matt. Matt got caught with a big Hurricane Rana. Locomotion, Northern Lights suplex, triple pin. AR Fox and Top Flight all kicked out. Assisted Tornado DDT by Top Flight. Matt Jackson saved the match. Fox took out the pile. Nosedive, Doomsday Device combination. Swanton bomb by AR Fox. Omega just saved it. Everyone was taking out everyone, one after another. Meltzer driver on Fox. Top Flight saved it. Moonsault by Nick Jackson to the floor. V-Trigger on Fox. Dr. Bomb. Fox kicked out. V-Trigger again. One Winged Angel reversed. Fox only got a 2. Tight roll-up on AR Fox, and AR Fox ends up getting pinned off the tight roll-up by Omega. And they retain the Trios Championships in what was, to me, the match of the year for wrestling so far. Absolutely fucking insane. And my God, my fucking God, is AR Fox and Top Flight great? Are they good or are they fucking good? Rampage. We got some decent stuff on Rampage. We'll see Jungle Boy in action, and I do believe that Jungle Boy, if anything, Jungle Boy could very well be the next challenger for Orange Cassidy and the All-Atlantic Championship. And he said he wants to be a singles champion. Maybe we get that match at Revolution. I certainly won't complain. We also got the BCC versus Kip Sabian, Butcher and the Blade. We got Orange Cassidy and Lee Moriarty for the All-Atlantic Championship. And then we got Ruby Soho and Marina Shafir. God help us with fucking Marina Shafir, but thank God it's going to be as an enhancement match to put over Ruby Soho. And Ruby Soho will be fighting for the AEW Women's World Championship. Trust me on that. We're also hearing from Mark Briscoe. So I don't know what Mark Briscoe is going to say, but I'm glad that Mark Briscoe is on AEW TV. They're putting him on TV, and it's always a great thing to see Mark Briscoe because Mark Briscoe is great. Main event, the Acclaimed and the Guns for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was a pretty fun main event. And the Guns, I gotta say, the Guns are really, really, really impressive. They really are. And they have risen to great heights. And it's so weird how it all happened. The partnership with the Acclaimed and the Guns back then, it turned the Acclaimed into top baby faces, and it turned the Guns into top heels. The ending was kind of shocking, but in the end, I'm not mad about the ending. I'm actually quite happy about the ending. So, the Acclaimed were in early control. Coming back from commercial, the Guns isolated Max Caster. Max finally got the tag to Bowens. He lit up the Guns. Famous are on Austin. Colton saved the match. Austin then took out Caster. Super kick by Bowens. Double lariat by Caster and Colton. Bowens accidentally hit Stephon Smith with the rolling elbow. So Stephon Smith was out of the equation. Billy Gunn then came out. He said he was going to stay in the back, but Billy Gunn came out to try and help the Acclaimed. He stopped Austin from hitting, I believe it was Max Caster, with the title, and then Colton hit his own father with the other title. The Acclaimed then took over with the Arrival and mic drop combination. Max tried to get the ref up. Colton saved the match. Colton then hit Bowens with the belt. The ref didn't see. Colton rolled away. He rolled away out of sight, so Stephon Smith couldn't see him with the title. Austin then rolled up Bowens for the 1-2-3 win. And the Ass Boys, and I'm very impressed with these Ass Boys. The Ass Boys are the new AEW World Tag Team Champions, and no one should be complaining about them. The only criticism that I have is I would have waited until Revolution, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh yeah, this was a shit outcome. No. The Guns are getting legit heat. The Guns are legit heat magnets. They are great at what they do. And if you guys are paying attention, there's an underlying storyline to all of this. Billy Gunn was the one that accepted the match on the Acclaimed's behalf. The Acclaimed were going to say no to the Gun Club. Billy Gunn, he accepted the match. And then he said he was going to stay in the back. Bowens was clearly not happy with him. Bowens is displeased with Billy Gunn. I do believe that this is going to result in Bowens getting a little snappy with Billy Gunn because he's not too happy that Billy Gunn kind of cost him the tag team titles, especially when he said he was going to stay in the back, and he didn't stay in the back. He didn't stay in the back. So Billy Gunn kind of cost the Acclaim the titles. Bowens is going to get snappy with Billy, and that's going to cause Billy to turn on the Acclaim. The ref was down here. This is going to lead to a rematch at the pay-per-view, and in the end, the ref's going to go down again. The ref's going to go down again Bowens is going to get pissy with Billy, and Billy will ultimately end up turning on the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are going to be turned into mega baby faces, and we will inevitably see Billy Gunn reunited with his sons. And there's a perfect shoe-in storyline when FTR come back to the company, which I hope they do. FTR comes back to the company, FTR can go after the Guns, because the Guns took FTR out. And we get the Guns versus FTR at Double or Nothing. Hell, maybe we get a triple threat tag team match with the Guns, the Acclaimed, and FTR at Double or Nothing. I got no issue with that whatsoever. And I'm glad that the Guns are tag team champions. And it's great to see new stars once again being created. All of that babyface momentum was transferred from the Acclaimed, and now it's on the Guns. And now the Guns have that heel momentum, and they are going to do great things no matter how long they hold the championships. The one thing I don't want to see, though, and the one thing that should not happen, what should not happen is the Acclaimed winning it back at the pay-per-view. We need a daddy-ass heel turn at the pay-per-view, and he aligns back with his sons, and then the Gun Club can lose it at Double or Nothing. The Gun Club should hold it for a solid amount of time and then lose it when the time is right. With FTR coming back and FTR winning the titles, and then we can get some interesting matchups with FTR. The Acclaim should not win the titles back. You elected to put the titles on the Guns. They should stay on the Guns. And the Guns are great heels. They are legitimately fucking hated for all the right reasons. The only criticism that I have is that it should have happened at Revolution. Outside of that, I don't understand why anyone's complaining about this. The Guns are top-tier heels, and they beat top-tier babyfaces. And the Acclaimed had a solid run with the tag team titles. They could have held it longer, yes, but they held it for a solid amount of time. And no one should be complaining about this. Ladies and gents, Hooligram, I'm sorry, you got here a little late. Unfortunately, that wraps up this edition of the LFU. Only 2 weekly show reviews, and then my news, rumors, and reports. If you want to go back and listen to that, you can absolutely do so. But ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning into the LFU. You guys are great as per usual. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. I have other inquiries going down on Saturday, so there will be no Saturday LFU, which is why I did it here. But I will be back in the game. Trust me, I will be back in the game next week for the rundown for the Chamber, the LFU on Saturday, and the rewind for the Chamber. But here's a very important message that everyone should know. If you guys missed it, and I know you saw it, Hooligram, I know Dee saw it, I know everybody saw it, it is not a drill. JV Thunder is back. JV Thunder, baby, is back. And he's not going anywhere. For the OGs of the channel, JV Thunder is the absolute best. He is the best personal drummer that a guy could ever ask for, and he is getting his own exclusive show. JV Thunder will be doing exclusive drum covers. The guy is a fucking beast. Self-taught himself 20 years ago. Never taken a lesson in his life. And JV Thunder, back and better than ever. I had a feeling that some of you may have known that he was coming back, and he is indeed back. He came home. Thunder came home. The prodigal son has returned. And our first drum cover, his first one drops this Sunday. This Sunday, February 12th at 2 p.m., JV Thunder covers Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. Do not miss it. You are going to love it. It's going to be intense. It's going to be wild. We are going to be doing exclusive drum covers every single month. And we're going to start with Shout at the Devil. And you are going to love it. Thunder's back. And once again, DJ Storms Productions is at full strength. There is no DJ Storms without JV Thunder. And you are going to love what he's got brewing. But until next time, I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. But before we get out of here, everyone's got to answer me the question, who runs the IWC? I will take a sip of my ice water and let you answer. Ah, tell ya who runs the IWC. Who but DJ motherfucking Storms. Don't you forget it. Check it this Sunday. Shout at the Devil cover. 2 p.m. Eastern Time.